Tours annually, 66 in 2023, 67 in 2024, and 66 in 2025. What's failing? Is it the law, the police, the courts, or the silence and disconnect between those meant to protect and those crying for help? If strategies exist while the number not changing, while is the number not dropping? Who is truly accountable for the deadly stagnation of gender-based violence in Cameroon? This person raises serious questions about the depth, coordination, and sincerity of Cameroon's fight against gender-based violence. It demands answers, action, and accountability. Today we have invited leaders of different associations. The program is Women and Leadership. We'll right back just after the jingle. A lot of experts and associations defending the rights of women continue to insist that the legal framework lacks the bite and needed to protect survivors. The police often remains untrained or ill-equipped to handle sensitive gender-based cases. Courts are slow and survivors silence and abuses walk free. Associations are doing the best to find a real synergy between associations, the government, civil society, organization, legal systems, and communities. The Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the family is working also, but some experts maintain coordination gaps, limited resources, and lack of grassroots follow-up continue to undermine progress. Gender-based violence is not a social issue, it is a human rights crisis. If you have missed any of our past editions, you can go to our YouTube page. You just type the thematic of the day, you type Women and Leadership, and you can watch all our past editions and let the conversation begin just after the jingle. And it's time for us to know our guests. I will begin with a person that is very close to my left. She is called CLAUDELLE YOUGANG. She is president and founder of the NPOWA Association. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's the first time inviting you on the program on women and leadership.
Yes.
All right. Now, your association is called NPOWA.
Yes.
Can you tell us what it's all about? What does it signify, NPOWA?
Okay. So thank you very much, Maureen, for having me here. It is a pleasure. It is an honor. It is a privilege to be part of your panel. The issue that we are discussing, it's a very important issue. You've mentioned it before, that it is a humanitarian crisis. And NPOWA is one association, one more association that has been created just recently to support the fight against violence, against the fight against women violence.
And now, what pushed you? Because you just created it, I think it's not up to a year?
No, yeah, indeed it's not up to a year. But just to begin, NPOWA stands for nurturing the power of women's aspiration. Nurturing the power of women's aspiration. Because we do feel as an association that there's a lot that needs to be done in order to really empower women, in order to help them support themselves, but really get them out of difficult situation that they are into. What has inspired me, this has been a long coming. I've been, the issue has been very dear to me for many years, and just recently, you've mentioned some of the statistics in Cameroon. Year on year, we're seeing pretty much a 22% growth in terms of the number of women dying at the hands of partners and whatnot. And I think if there is something to be done, we each need to put our hands to the table and do it. So I think that there is something new that we are bringing to the table as an association, and I guess I'll get to talk about it.
And that's something new that we'll have to talk about
yes.
in the course of the program.
Absolutely.
And we equally have Elisabeth MEKOUGOU. I hope I pronounce your name. MEKOUGOU. I hope I pronounce your name well, but I would like to call maybe Elisabeth because of a pretty name. And your association is AS2. Now, what's it all about? First of all, let me welcome you first to the program. Let me not just,
Hi everyone, it's a great pleasure for me to be part of this panel too. Yes, ASDD is Association for Solidarity and Sustainable Development. Why do we name the association Solidarity and Sustainable Development? Because from my past 24 years experience on working on gender issues, we noticed that to fight against gender-based violence is part of several or combination of different factors. And one of the factors is the development. One of the factors is empowerment of women, economic empowerment, social empowerment, leadership, and we know that gender equality is part of one of the sustainable goals, which is the goal number 5. So that's the reason of having all those factors together for an holistic approach when talking about women in leadership and empowering women to be prevented from the harm.
Now, when was your association created? How long has it been existing?
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
And before you were created, there are other associations that were existing. You saw the gaps, right?
Yeah. We saw the gaps because we can say that we cannot have enough association to fight against violence on women and girls. We know that violence on women and girls is something that lasts since the beginning of the world. And the more we have people around, moving around together, the more the response will be effective. So it's important to have more people, more associations involved.
More associations, right?
Yes,
we should create associations.
Yes.
But the impact, that's what we're talking about.
Yes, we talk about the impact. Each of the associations should bring an add value that come and complete the whole work that the others are doing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We equally have a man this time around. I always invite a women, but I say let me trust a man this time around. And there's something I always say that women are partners to men, not so included. Women are partners to men. We cannot, women cannot, or associations cannot engage in this fight without involving the men, because the men are the center of everything, right? You're accusing the men; they should be there to answer.
That's learn from the past experience working isolated with that man was very wrong.
Was very wrong. Yeah. All right, we have HAMLET NKWAIN. He is a human rights defender. His association is association working for a well-being. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Madam Maureen, for inviting me here today. And I think what my co-panel just said is something very important, that isolating young boys or men from the fight against gender-based violence was a bad idea. And I think in the new days today, people have come to realize that it is something that is done through allyship. If I am fighting violence against women today, I need to say that tomorrow it might be the turn of young boys. How do we put our hands together to fight? So it's very important for us to create this allyship, these bridges, so we profoundly fight against every form of violence that might be targeting is a young girl, is a young boy, is a young woman, so that it comes to an end. But I think it's very important that that we keep working hand in hand in that atmosphere.
And now, what pushed you in creating the association?
Working for well-being is because when we saw the need, we also realized that they are a minority group of persons, and we know that women are a minority group of persons, and there are also other sectors of gender based on identities that are also minorities. So we saw the need of okay, it's not because the person is a minority that doesn't make the person a human being, and the person being a human being needs attention, needs to follow up, needs people to accompany them. And this is how we came together as a group of young persons. But if you come to our association, you find that we are just a group of young people that working,
men especially,
men especially, with very few women. But we are more of championing issues that are diverse, that are looking the deeper aspect of gender, not just limiting it that gender is just about women. We're looking also at other people that might be identifying themselves at other dimension, and we're also responding to their needs and looking at how can they be followed up, holding the different departments accountable. Is the Minister of Public Health, is the Minister of Justice, we are doing constant advocacy with them to strengthen and make laws to be viable, that everybody can live free and far away from any form of violence that may be targeting. Is it their identity? Is it their person? Is it whatever? So we this creation was like, it's something that we said we are going to get in the fight.
Do you have anyone that was a victim that made you, pushed you so much inside this fight?
Yeah, I think,
because I know you're coming from somewhere. When I read you, I don't know how come to the others. It's like you're coming from somewhere.
Yeah, I think about someone. I have a lot of victims, and I have people, and most of the times we find this violence that is being directed towards individuals just because of their identity, and we see it to become a problem. And this has been people who have been like from the minority community. Is it because of their sexual orientation or their gender identity that has caused them a lot of problems? And most of them, these are one of the most prudent people that find themselves in situation of torture, harassment. Is it online authorities or police? Like even when I was coming, I'm just coming from the court, following up a situation where we have documented already, but we find out that these things are not supposed to be happening. And it wrote that when these people are in this position, they need people who can do a lot of advocacy. Maybe some people are inflicting this violence or torture or whatever, maybe because they're not yet aware or they don't have knowledge.
But a lot of the work you're doing is not actually exposed, because I'm sure if women were seeing how it's advancing, how you're doing it, and trying to follow up, to have courage even to tell your sisters you need to also denounce. But this year's team talked about today digital violence. Why digital violence? Because we've been talking about domestic violence. This time around you're pushing it when we have not even treated domestic violence.
I think we live in an era where the digital is prevalent in our lives. Right, we wake up with a phone, with smartphone. We go to bed with smartphone. We do everything online, and you know, before gender-based harassment or violence was happening in front of us in the street. It was our neighbor. It was within the house, within the family. But now it's extending. It's going beyond what we can see with our eyes in front of us, and it's extending to the digital. People are sitting behind a screen, behind the phone, and in the comfort that is provided by that barrier, they're harassing women, right? And women are very subjected to this harassment. I think that is the reason why, beyond the scope of violence, you know, as we know it, it was important to also include numeric violence, numeric harassment in this overall scope, because women are quite targeted by these.
Have you been a victim?
No, I cannot say I have not, but I know people that have.
But you know a lot of people. What did they tell you?
It's, you know, people are really impacted by what is, you know, they post online, they get comments, they get people disliking, and it really impacts them. It impacts them down to their soul, and it affects them negatively, and they end up having, you know, self-doubt. Right, and they're not able to pursue their ambition or achieve their goal. So that is why it's important to actually put a name to what is happening and find ways and solutions towards it.
All right, before I get to Elizabeth, I want to ask Quine. We'll be talking much about this digital violence. I think it's been existing, but it's the first time they're bringing it to light.
Yes.
Now, how will a woman that is in a rural area watching right now know what digital violence is all about? Because she will not even know. She doesn't even know what it's all about. She has a phone. Yes. What's it all about? How do you define it, and how does it manifest?
I think most women maybe in a rural area do not really kind of understand, because when situation happen, maybe it's the physical violence, and in the process of that physical violence, someone maybe take a picture of her, and then like it goes viral. Instead of getting comments that could recomfort her, it comes back with mockery, with people say, no, you see, women don't do this and that, they need to be like doing this, submissive and that and all the rest. From there it starts. That's where it starts. Those comments further traumatize the victim. When it doesn't come back.
When they start the comments, you stop, right?
Yeah, it doesn't stop, because people would use it. Because, you know, why are we talking about digital violence today? It's because, yes, we are not done with the the violence that is committed in our homes, in our quarters and the rest, is because we have come to realize that the violence that happens online goes fast than even what we had before. Because before, if I remember, if something happened for the coming of internet, something happened in the village, for your mother to inform your uncle that is in town, you need to write a letter. And the time the letter reaches maybe in town to come back with a response, the case must have maybe gone down, you see. But now, the moment someone in the face of just one shot of you and communicates badly on the situation, those insults, those comments, it's not just off the fact that you just need to off the comment, the section of the comment. Already your image has already been tagged on something that has been communicated badly, and the person is going to face a lot of backlashes. And we are not just looking at the insult, but we're looking at what will be the state of the person. The person becomes traumatized, weak, not more feel of the person no more have that self-confidence to face reality and move forward. So yeah.
Elizabeth, have you had women come to you to say they have been victims of this digital violence?
Yeah.
And how were they attacked? How did they feel after that? Did they lose their self-esteem and all of that?
Some women, even me.
All right, tell us your own story.
I've been victim twice. That was in order for extortion, money extortion. I've been threatened by somebody that called from the French Ministry of Justice, saying that I have abused a child. I was very surprised, and the person were threatening me to take me to jail without even know if I'm living in France or not. But I was not afraid. That was 2 years ago. I was not afraid because I say, when we used to say to people who are victims that when you receive this type of information or a call like that, you should breathe first, reflect on that to see what is the coherence. You see, that's what I've done. And by the end, I knew that it was a person online.
And then you had to leave the internet for a while, right?
No, I didn't leave the internet. I just blocked the person. No,
all right.
I use
because
internet.
Because when you block the person, the next person comes on board and starts.
Yeah, the more recent one was 2 months ago. A person called me, say that he's how do you call it, traditional doctor. He said that a woman have come with my picture on his place in order to kill me. So I have to.
And
call
it happens online.
Online. Have to do that very quick. I receive a message. So it used to be a person who have or traffic your number or your identity, and now you use it to threat you in order to ask for money. So I didn't call back. I just called somebody from the police to track the person, and we knew where the person were.
So
the region, yes.
So women in that situation,
but the women are received. That is because I am aware of that thing. That I'm well prepared for that. But the women are received. One of the women are received say that she was a victim of revenge porn. Revenge porn is that you have from the ex-husband. So because she decided to leave, she was victim of the domestic violence, and she decided to leave the man, and she really left the man. She had her work, she was not financially depending on him, and he decided to share intimate pictures of her. And the man shared that one. She was very destroyed mentally. She was very traumatized mentally. She decided to change the region. She left one of the region where she was living. That means she lost her job, and she went to the family. But since in the family, in the village, knowing that in the village people are not well connected, but unfortunately there were some people who saw the pictures and come and comment in the village.
Oh my God!
That went viral
again.
And she had one of her best friends who said that the parents forbidden her to continue relationship with her. It was very terrible. So she the first thing was psychosocial support so that she can rebuild her self-confidence before thinking on overcoming what she has. Yes. And the second thing was go to the police, but most of them, they said the police service is very complicated. It's long. Sometimes you go there and they will abuse you.
No mastery of the situation.
Yeah.
All right. I want to ask Claudelle now, what's the solution? How should women act when they find themselves in that type of situation?
It's very difficult to just offer a blind solution because the situation that women are facing are quite diverse, and each woman is different. The mental state is different. So I think the first step, as you mentioned, is to first understand where she's coming from, have an assessment of her psychological position, distress. Yes, distress, and then offer how to accompany her to sort of heal. The healing process is a long process, right? Even talking sometimes when these women are facing things, you get women that end up committing suicide, but nobody knew. People, the family is saying, we thought she was okay, she was laughing, she was having fun, but she didn't know she could speak about it, because a lot of time when you're a victim, you get victimized even more, right? So the solution here is really, our appeal as association is inviting these women to really break the silence, to really talk about it, so that we can offer through the platform that we have various ways of accompanying them.
All right, Hamlet, we are talking about solutions. We are talking about digital violence. We are trying to encourage women to denounce it and try to build their self-esteem, because a woman can commit suicide.
Yes.
I would say some of the solutions that I can bring out here. I know some people will be saying that he's a boy, he's a man, why is he talking issues? But I just feel like it's very important to say these things. Like, some of the solutions I can propose here is that victim first must never accept that they should become those who have committed the crime. They must make sure that we are talking of the police. These police who do not sometimes listen. You go sometimes to the station, they make a mockery of your case and say, how can you come here talking about your husband?
That's a complaint from women, because a lot of women are complaining even about the police, the way they handle the cases. So sometimes they'll just send you back, some without even listening to your case and all of that.
So this is like, the police at one point need to train women, men in uniform who have mastery, who definitely have mastery of the situation when it comes to gender-based violence. They should be able to identify at what point gender-based violence starts when someone comes to complain. So there's a need for empowerment of uniformed persons. There is a proper need for the Ministry of Women Affairs to engage more with the civil society, to bring together ideas.
Like you, of course.
Yeah, like all of you, to come to the round table like this one, to discuss these issues and amplify awareness raising, because it's not just about stepping in when there's support to give, but it's also the need to let them know that this thing you might, because there are people that could be facing but are now aware that this thing I'm facing is already a violence that is coming towards my person, and there's a need to stop it. So we need to increase the awareness on educative talks, hold conferences with women, because that's just something we see.
And even go online. Because you need to do campaigns online for women.
We see today a lot of influencers on TikTok, and these things happen every day. Sometimes when I look, I just swap. At one point, me, who is looking at the thing happening, knowing that this thing they are doing is already something going to cause her, I'm also traumatized. There's an auto stigma that happens, so you need to. So some of the things also for companies also to properly put in place measures to properly regulate some kind of statements, comments, what people can post. It's true they're already doing it, but they need to add more efforts to it to stop it.
All right. Before I get to you, I want us to watch this story about victims of gender-based violence. It's not always easy to speak out, but some of them at least had to talk to us when we went to them. They told us their story, their experiences, and some are still trapped on the ground as they still have threats from their partners. Let's watch. We'll be right back just after the jingle.
Oui, quand je fais le RE plus 5, fini, mon marché, mon entreprise a commencé à chuter. Donc j'ai tout fait jusqu'au niveau de la peinture et staff. À ce moment, j'ai demandé un prêt d'abord à monsieur comme mon entreprise chutait de 18 millions pour acheter la voiture, pour changer ma voiture. Et là, il m'a donné, parce qu'auparavant, je l'avais prêté aussi 15 millions pour acheter sa voiture. Parti de 5 à 10 millions le mois, à maintenant 2 millions, 3 millions chaque mois. Donc, je voulais donc cotiser pour faire les 10 millions de peinture staff. C'est là où monsieur me dit que c'est lui qui doit finalement faire ses peintures staff. Donc, c'est là où j'ai commencé à comprendre qu'il voulait prendre mon immeuble. J'ai refusé parce qu'il ne voulait pas qu'il mette 5 francs dans cet immeuble. Donc il m'a dit que si je ne mets pas cette peinture staff de 10 millions pour prendre l'immeuble et gérer à son compte, que je lui remette les 18 millions. Là, je n'avais pas de 18 millions. C'est là où les problèmes ont commencé pendant des mois, quoi. J'ai refusé pendant au moins 3 mois, mais il a fini par faire. Donc à la fin, il m'a convaincu plutôt, quand il a fini de mettre tous ses peintures staff, il m'a demandé de partir aux États-Unis avec les enfants. Donc il m'a mis 50 millions dans mon compte pour tourner, juste pour demander le visa des États-Unis. C'est comme ça qu'il tourne. Je lui dis que non, si il n'est pas aux États-Unis, tu vois que mon immeuble est fini, c'est moi qui dois encaisser l'argent aux États-Unis parce qu'il ne veut plus aller travailler. Il m'a dit il est d'accord. Mais étant sur place pendant peut-être 3 ou 4 mois, il ne m'a pas donné 5 francs d'immeuble. J'ai compris que c'est une façon de se débarrasser de moi. Donc c'est là où j'ai refusé de partir. Quand je refuse de partir, les problèmes s'accélèrent, je tombe dans la dépression. Je commence à prendre 4 comprimés au lieu d'un. Je commence à prendre de l'alcool en désordre. Et c'est comme ça que la maladie, je commence à être malade, je perds tout. Je n'ai plus 5 francs. Donc maintenant, il fallait que je demande 1000 francs chez monsieur pour manger mon immeuble tourné, il ne me donnait pas 5 francs et tout. Donc en gros, j'ai fini par quitter moi-même le cours quand j'ai vendu un de mes terrains pour aller donc reprendre la vie à zéro.
Bon, les violences psychologiques, je ne sais pas, quelqu'un est toujours en train de vous humilier, vous traumatiser. En fait, tout ce que vous faites est mauvais pour lui. En fait, pour lui, vous êtes la pire personne qui existe sur la terre. Ils ne sont plus ensemble, oui. Chacun est de son côté. Bon, nous ne vivons plus ensemble. Il a la garde de tous les enfants. Bon, je ne suis pas en sécurité. Je ne suis même pas en sécurité. Je ne suis pas en sécurité. Si je dis que je suis en sécurité, c'est que je mens. Moi, mes enfants, je ne sais pas si mes enfants sont en sécurité où ils sont. Parce qu'il n'est pas à la maison pour prendre soin de ses enfants, qu'il abandonne dans les mains des ménagères et des gens qui ne sont même pas aptes à prendre soin des enfants. C'est accepter la séparation. Je pense que j'ai guéri du moment où j'ai accepté la séparation. J'ai accepté son avis. Oui, parce qu'en amour, je me dis qu'on ne force pas l'amour. Quand vous ne vous sentez plus aimé, quand votre partenaire vous montre qu'il ne vous aime plus, qu'il n'a plus besoin de vous dans votre... qu'il n'a plus besoin de vous dans sa vie, au point d'aller même jusqu'à demander la séparation. Bon, c'est suffisant. C'est suffisant pour se séparer, c'est suffisant pour accepter sa demande. Parce que pour moi, on ne force pas l'amour.
Quand je suis partie, j'ai commencé même déjà les premiers moments à dormir. Parce que je dormais les 1 heure, 2 heures de sommeil. Je prenais 4 comprimés. Mais tout de suite, quand je suis partie, je ne prenais plus les remèdes. Donc je me suis sentie d'abord soulagée, j'ai repris tout de suite les activités. Et ce sont les proches, parce que quand j'étais dans le couple, je n'avais pas d'amis, pas de relations, pas de... C'est là où j'ai commencé à créer mes relations. Il y a aussi Maître Tchakounte qui m'a beaucoup aidé. Il y a aussi les prières, les groupes de prières. Et puis il y a aussi le fait que je me suis concentrée sur le travail, quoi. Donc ce qui m'a aidé trop, c'est comme je vous dis, c'est le travail et d'accepter quitter un couple que j'ai fait 13 ans et que j'ai tout donné et que je suis restée fidèle.
Now, even after escaping abusive marriages, many gender-based violence survivors, as you watch in that story in Cameroon, continue to live in fear. As you saw it in that report, they openly shed via torment they endure daily, from relentless threats, stalking to physical attacks by former partners. And the question I want to ask here is, what from the victims can we see the protection mechanism of survivors? It's still very weak, Elizabeth.
Okay, talking about the protection mechanism, we have several levels of protection mechanism. The first one, when you are supporting the survivors, the first level of protection is the survivor herself or himself, because we are dealing through, when we are making case management, GBV case management, we are dealing through survivor-centered approach. In survivor-centered approach, you have to facilitate or to enable the survivor to build the solution by her own resources, internal resources, because everybody have resources. You can ignore those resources, but we have the duty to enable the survivor to identify what are the internal resources. It can be from her, it can be from the close family, they can be from the close friend, people from who the person have, let's say, confidence. Yes, the support system. The first thing is that one. The second thing, the support system is in order to put the person in safety, in order to rebuild the self-esteem. The second one is the services, the providers. It can be if it's marital abuse from, as you were saying, from the former partners. If there is, we have a physical assault, maybe that can lead to injury. So one of the provider will be medical care. The person will need medical care. And when the person go to medical care, one of the things that we always have as feedback is that the manner that the person have been received in the hospital. So we have to work, we have to train to strengthen the let's say the system, the referral system, so that they will use case management principle in order to receive people, in order to keep all the dignity of the person when received them, in order to put the person in confidence before giving the
because
service.
I'm asking this question because a lot of women, right, even when you denounce gender-based violence, now, what are the protective measures after that? After denouncing it, what happens next? Well, next thing is that the man is after you. Oh, some other thing happens. Your life is threatened and every other thing. That's why we're looking at the survival, the protection.
The protection.
Sometimes even we have the restraining orders are rarely reinforced.
The problem we have is the weak system of protecting the survivors when they denounce, when they speak out. The thing is that we still have, although we have let's say at the legal system, we have the penal code, but the penal code suffer from let's say strict application. We still have problem with strict application. We still have problem, he was saying, with under training of the police, the gendarmerie, or on the under training of all the people who are around the legal system. We still have the problem where the prosecutor will not apply very strictly the law. We know many cases like the one where the husband have been asked to pay 52,000.
Talking of Yango's case, right?
Exactly. I didn't want to call the name, but we still have that, the weakness of the legal system. But the other thing in protecting the survivor is that we have lack of shelters, temporary shelter. Because a person who have the courage to speak out, she does not need to go back there. She do not have to go back there. You know, we one of the recommendations that have been made, given in the draft of the women law, the law against violence on women in Cameroon. You know that law, which is in process at the Ministry of Justice, that have been introduced by the Women Empowerment. In that law, one of the recommendations CSOs given was that each region should have at least a temporary shelter for people. Yes, if people, women know that if I speak out, I will be protected, I will be somewhere with all the services are needed, people will, they continue to speak out. The second thing, if the justice really apply, if you have a specific law for gender-based violence, and if that is really applied, we will have a sort of reduction of the courage of perpetrators, and maybe more women will be free from.
You raise a very important problem, because a lot of women want to denounce.
Yeah.
You want to leave your home because you know the moment you denounce her, you cannot get in there.
Yeah.
Then after denouncing, where do you go to? Where do you take your children? If she doesn't know where to sleep, she tell you, I don't have money, I don't have anything.
No,
but now, I want to ask Claudette, that's a real problem, right?
Yeah, it's a real
because she's talking about solutions if it is implemented. But now, at the level of the law, what we know there are limitations. That we have very beautiful laws, international, national laws. But the problem with applying the law. Note that in 2023 we had 67 women died. 2024, 67. And 2025, we have 66. At this moment, as we speak, in December, 66 women have died so far. So far. So we are looking at the laws. Now, if they want to change, add something in that law, because the law is actually, I'm sure a lot of women are praying that there should be a specific law or clause to end gender-based violence. What do you want should be touched in that law?
Okay, thanks for the question. I think before even getting to the law, there is one specific point, one very important point that my co-panelists both touch on, and is how women are received when they get to the police station, when they call for help. I think that's where it needs to start. And elsewhere, you have what they call special victim units. I think we've all seen
in other countries.
In other countries,
call centers.
in more, in
no,
developed
call
countries.
centers. How many
It's
women
not
use
about.
it?
It's not about call centers.
It's not about the call.
What I'm saying,
Yeah.
right, is,
Alright.
if you've seen, for instance, let me maybe mention a Law and Order, right? In that you have the special victim unit. That means when you are a woman and you've been a victim of violence, you can go to the police station and have trained individuals in that police department that know and that can apply even compassion and know the law which you're referring to. And some of these laws, as she was mentioning, the lady whose life was estimated at 52,000. I think there needs to be more stricter laws that apply to the perpetrators. They need to know, because consequence management is something in our society that is very sort of volatile. It depends on the mood of the prosecutor or the mood of whoever they find themselves against, but it should be stricter. It should be very consequential for them to know that if this happens, this is what I'm facing, right? And this is not yet clear, even for the victims. It's not clear.
All right, Hamlet.
I would say one problem we just have is like Cameroon not having a jury system of hearing when they're hearing cases,
right?
Which is something that's part of the solution, because if we're having a system whereby the hearing passes with juries who are expert in these things, maybe from civil society and the rest, we will find out that some of these problems will be resolved accordingly. It will not be like looking at people's life at 52,000. The special units are very important, and also shelters, most of them are very important to have them, because sometimes these victims do not only want to leave. The situation might become very critical that you can do movements. You move a victim for safety to another region to spend time there before coming back to town. That makes a lot of sense to those victims. So sometimes I think that what our government needs to do, because more of the work,
because the issue is that survival things that they are not heard enough.
Yeah.
You getting me?
Yeah.
Like you go to
I
a
am
police
agreeing with
station,
them.
you go to courts, you go even to associations, you go to those units, you even do the call center. It's like their voices are not heard.
So I think more of it is like for actors on this matter should move towards in the quarters, because there are some people that the way we who are more of like know the issue move to victims. In the same way, it comes to their brain that someone is ready to listen to me. Just the fact you go to the victim, there's only a step to say open up, and the victim gets to open up. whereas there are people who have been staying with those issues for more than a longer period, but they will never have the courage to talk about it even to their own mother who is living with them, or maybe their father. But you come in one day, you are performing miracle.
Yeah. Okay.
So now these are some of the things that the initiatives that actors should go to the ground, try to identify, because maybe we might be doing just an awareness
for a very long time, we'll be talking to quarter heads, talking even to chiefs in neighborhoods,
religious leaders, because they play this role to encourage these victims to come out and talk about their issues and seek solution. Because we might be having a solution. We have a psychologist in our office, but most of the time she comes and tells people are not even like when you call them to they don't know, because we need to drill people to know what it means
to
have
put women to have the confidence to
say it.
And you know that she says, how do you help her? That's the issue.
Exactly. And also we should know that the more the survivors are close to people, and the more they can speak out. For instance, you can have psychologists, but it can be a barrier. We can have a barrier of language, a barrier of let's say education level. But if in the community you have, for instance, 7 years ago, I was working with one of international NGOs. We set up a listening center at Bamenda Reference Hospital, the first one in the Northwest region.
Okay.
And after a need assessment, we noticed that pastors and priests were preferred by the survivors than the official offices. So when we set up the referral system to that listening center, we were obliged to include the pastor there. We have a room where the pastor can come. We have a legal counsel, we have psychology, we have all these things.
Because they have more confidence in them.
Yes, because they have more. So we should identify. That's why when you receive a survivor, one of the first thing is who are the person in
the community.
Yes, in the community in which you are trusting. Yes, you are trusting. It can be a pastor, it can be a friend, it can be an aunt, it can be somebody. That's why we have to train, even in the community, more people, at least for the first psychological aid.
All right.
Because when people receive the first psychological aid, they can be willing to go for further services.
All right, Claudette.
What I want to say is that, a lot of time when we think about domestic violence, we're already thinking about the very last stage, the very last step. Some of the victims go through it for years, right? It starts with maybe financial abuse, maybe psychological abuse, maybe it takes all type of, it goes from an insult to a slap, then later on is something worse. And we really need to put together a platform that allows these women to talk about it until they realize that there is a point where you cannot accept this anymore. And, she talked about a call center. What we're proposing actually to bring as one of the solution is a green number, right? A green number that is going to receive calls from these women anonymously. Because by the time a woman is ready to actually go down in her community and face people that she sees every day, or face people, whether it's in the judicial system, the legal system, or even in her church, I think there's a lot that has gone on, right, in her mind. And we need to help her throughout that process to actually understand what is happening to her. A lot of people are in denial. Right.
It's unfortunate that we could not have the regional delegate for women empowerment and the family, but we actually did an interview with her, and she attempts answers on what her delegation is doing at the level of the law to help women. Let's watch. We'll be right back after the jingle.
Vous ne pouvez pas dire que ça n'aboutit pas. Vous n'avez pas tous les cas entre vos mains. Et ça avance très bien, même au niveau de la police, parce que même les policiers ont été formés en ce qui concerne la répression par rapport aux violences faites aux femmes et aux filles. Les policiers ont été formés, tout l'État, les forces de l'ordre ont été formées par rapport à ça. Ça ne suffit pas, mais vous savez que la lutte, on va tout doucement. doucement, doucement. On ne peut pas en un seul jour dire qu'on va vaincre ce fléau. Ce fléau qui est d'ailleurs très complexe. Il est très complexe, qui nécessite la participation de tous. Il va falloir que tout le monde s'y mette, les médias que vous êtes, que vous nous aidiez dans cette lutte-là, les OSC, les ONG, les autres partenaires, associations de lutte contre les violences faites aux femmes et aux filles. Ce n'est pas une affaire du MIPROF seul. Il va falloir que tout le monde s'implique. Les familles, les communautés, les chefs de quartier, les chefs de village et autres pour qu'on puisse vraiment vaincre ce fléau.
And we equally went to the streets of Douala asking women to propose from themselves solutions to end gender-based violence at the level of the law, at the level of their communities, what needs to be done in order to end gender-based violence at the level of denouncing in their homes, wherever they find themselves, at the level of the church, what should be done, because this has been going on for a very long time. A lot of suggestions have come up, but we are yet to end gender-based violence. We are yet to ensure that the figures actually drop. Now, let's watch. We'll be right back after the jingle.
Globally, almost 1 in 3 women have experienced physical and/or sexual violence at least once in their life. This violence is often perpetrated by current or former intimate partners, according to UN Women. The Press Cafe is an initiative of the Journalist Network for the Promotion of Health and Environment to school journalists on their role in countering gender-based violence.
Journalism is very important to fight against gender violence based in gender, because media can denounce those violence in our community. They can also advocate to a good regulation to fight against those violence.
Discussions in the capacity building session are focused on digital violence against women and girls, gender bias, and societal setbacks.
They also have a role, an important role, to educate the population to the type of violence, numeric violence, the consequences, and also the good practice. How can they better use the social media to fight against violence?
The participants are upbeat that the knowledge acquired will enhance their skills in reporting on gender-based violence, promote gender-sensitive communication, and encourage media engagement during the pro-gender campaign.
We have all the law. Our country has adopted many laws that the United Nations has to take to protect women. But when we come to how they are practicing the law, how they are putting it in practice, I can say that women in Cameroon are secure, because most of the time corruption will come and intervene, and the problem is that our government don't use to punish those who are working according to corruption. That is why women cannot feel secure. To conclude, I say the protection of women, the security of women are in the hands of justice, our justice. If our justice don't change the way he's functioning, just forget about the protection of women in Cameroon.
And welcome back. Now, let me begin with Hamlet. You have your association that's created for the purpose of ending gender-based violence. Now, what are the concrete actions that you take on the field to ensure that you solve the problems of women when it comes to gender-based violence?
So what we do so far now is like we work in partnership with other women organizations. We have Renata, Horizon Farm, and a good number of others, where El Cameroon, where when we get situations like that, we do referral, like providing them with shelter. Some even leave from different cities when they have issues, they have left, and they're like wondering we make sure that we listen to them, because first of all, always prepare ourselves to listening. We don't give you the solution. We ask you, what do you want? Because it's important for the victim to tell you what they want. You don't, because you orientate your hair based on what the person wants. So in most of the situations, we
the victim will not go and say, no, you are the one that says I should leave my
yeah. So we always like put ourselves like we are listening. We give you all our time. Tell us what you want. What will you like us to do? We would like us to see that we follow you up to do a judicial file a complaint. You give us all these details. Is it because you need a shelter? If you express this need, we now start looking for that. So the response is based on need expressed. We don't just, we know that we have them, but we keep it quiet and wait for you to list it by yourself.
And do you provide these services for free? If I get
definitely the services are for free.
Because another issue is that the women like, maybe I have to pay something, I maybe have money and
like, let me take for example, the psychological assistance is not something that we know that some people will not bear that burden to pay for it, for each sessions or follow-up. So these services are free. And when we take you sometimes to the hospital because we have faced maybe a kind of beating or whatever, harassment or being extorted from, like we had one lady, she got extorted from Yassa and carried by a bike and then dumped house somewhere right home. So when we took her, we started by services that we don't have. We like coordinated to make sure that maybe the services are maybe at Horizon Farm that we could refer to. We carry them there and say, okay, this is what you need to do. And from there, they take it from there. When they are finished, we know that, okay, we are now listening from this step. So all these things are like we work in partnership. And
because there's another issue, like a lot of people are asking, because if they see like every association has its interest. It's like there's no synergy. Is there a real synergy in the associations? Let me begin with you, because I'm getting to the other side.
I think for the past few months, we have established.
Past few months.
No, for the past. Sorry for the word.
For 7 years.
But we are for the past years.
Okay.
We have had to build
a
correct collaboration with to the Minister of Public Health, based on maybe the program on HIV/AIDS that has given us this room, looking at the situation. We have orientated.
I'm talking with different associations.
Yes, different associations. When I talk about Horizon Farm, something gave us the opportunity to meet with them because it was part of the collaboration.
Like you can attest to me with me that there are some that will refuse to collaborate, right?
Yeah, there are some that will refuse to collaborate because
like
the fact that they're not understanding that why are men talking about situation of women. And as she earlier said, is that was wrong. They have forgotten that a fight, any global fight, doesn't fight because you don't fight because maybe I'm albinos.
So because you're a man, you're being threatened and say, why are you
so now we like say, okay, we need to put our hands together, because if I'm talking about it, it's because some people are here that will listen to this program and are going to definitely change their mindset. Like, if it's a man talking about gender-based violence, then why am I like, I need to come in. So you need to bring more men on the table and more men to start by understanding the vastness of the situation and see that they need to put their hands on the table and become strong allies and become those people that are proposing the solutions. And this conversation goes from here to the Mjangi houses to the meeting in the church, and they say, oh no, look at this program now. Now we need to start coming to this table and talking about this issue and addressing them, because if we stay behind and not coming to the table, it makes us look more worse that we just see to more.
And you wait for the women to come towards you, or you go towards them?
No, we definitely go towards the women, and that's why we have observers on the ground to track every situation of gender-based violence from the different regions we are working in. And also when the year comes in, we are like trying to work to see how we can collaborate more to bring out a national report that really shows the real impact of GBV within the national territory. So we don't just collect data from the international level.
All right, thank you, Hamlet. Let me get to Claudelle. She has her own association. But now, what is an association? It's a new association, but you have objective, you have a vision, you have a mission. Now, what are those activities that you have outlined to end gender-based violence? I'm sure you're not coming to fold your arms and watch the others.
No, though it's true that we are new to the playing field. There's a saying in our culture that one hand does not tie, the cocky. So we're really looking to work in synergy with all the other associations. And as I was saying earlier, the one thing that we really bring to the table is that platform, right? The code that will be the one number that women will be able to dial in order to reach us. Our mission really is to have a centralized base that will pull together in partnership all the different associations, so that when the women, the young women or the older women, whatever the situation, have an issue, they can call first anonymously and pose their problem. Now, based on the referral base, as she was mentioning, we can now orient them towards the various platforms that will be able to really support them in what they need. So I think synergy is a key word here, and we're really going to be open. We're going to go towards the other association. We're going to go towards the ministry, go towards the other partners locally and even internationally. But we are looking for women to come to us via this number that we're going to put in place.
What are you bringing in new that the others have not done? Sure, you've watched the others. You have been training them. They have been there. But now you have come to add something that they have not. There's something that they have not been doing, and
Maureen,
you want to change.
I think what I have not seen, right? What I've not seen. I've lived a number of years elsewhere, and what I really learned from them is that capacity to really give and make known what the type of support that people can get, whether women or others. So when I say, you have a number that is 8028, any times, which is advertised, it's promoted, anytime that you have any issue, call this number, and the number will direct you towards. So we're not in competition with all the other associations. It's rather the platform for us to say, you can go here.
I love the word.
So,
it's not a competition.
No, it's not a competition.
Trying to come together.
It's really coming together.
And how you
so
can
we're going to find
push forward your
value,
agenda.
yes, in all the other associations, and say, this is where you can go. This is how they can support you. So we're calling towards, my call is towards the other association. Empower.org is live. We're saying, come to us, let us work together.
And you also go to them,
yes,
right?
Yes.
You're not only waiting for them to come.
Absolutely. This is why I'm on this platform. This is why I was at the event on the 25th with the ministry. So we're going to go out there. We're going to try to find others that we can really collaborate with in order to support this issue.
Elizabeth, your own association has been working. You've been there for more than 10 years already.
Yeah.
And you're older on the field.
More
So
experience.
tell us a little bit
Let's
now,
say that.
what are you doing concretely to end gender-based violence?
Okay, from my past experience, what I noticed is that service delivery need to invest in money, in time, and unfortunately, when the damage have already caused. So the first thing is prevention. We know that gender-based violence is also embedded in social and cultural negative norms, power abuse, so prevention. And what we are doing is that for the prevention activities, we are working on each stakeholder in the communities. Those who have influence, those who are less disadvantaged. The first thing is that for women and girls, we have many how do you call it, many talk with women and girls, boys, on the law, because gender-based violence is also related, the first thing related to the fundamental human rights. So we talk about the law because many are ignorance. When we make a focus group, you see some men or young men say that we were not knowing that we are doing wrong. So the first thing is education. Education talk on the right. The second thing is to build women and girls' self-confidence, because when you have it, there are some that prevent you from some harms. For instance, we have a new program which is called the class of the girls, the teenager class. In that, a program for a year, a teenager attend to that program for a year. And throughout the year, they have many topics that is regarding their self-confidence, their dreams, their body height, many, how to avoid this, how to seek for support, many, how in school, at home, in the community, in church. We have those ones. We also have a program where we have education talk or awareness raising in churches. You know, we are working with churches. We even go to the, how do you call, imam, Muslim. We also go to them because the specificity of Muslim women is that sometimes they cannot talk if they don't have, if you cannot pass through the husbands or to the imam or all those. So we also have that one. We also have education talk where we involve all that association with who provide other services, because we don't have enough. We cannot pretend to give the holistic support to the survivor, but we can bring during those education talk, people from the medical services. We work a lot with legal system. We work with several other actors. We can say that we work a lot closely with MINPROF too. We can also say that the other thing about the support, apart the prevention work, the prevention one is to develop or to build this type of community where men and boys are the allies, so that they will be the one, right? The allies, so that they will go for peer-to-peer education. And we notice that when they involve, they commit themselves, we have more impact, because talking about gender-based violence, although men and boys are also exposed to, we know that women and girls are the ones who are more vulnerable to. But knowing that if they go to that, they commit themselves to that, they will be the one to be the example in the community, you know. So that is what we are doing now. So we are also giving psychological support, because I have very big experience on that, and we refer. We are not giving shelter services. Okay. Yes.
All right, I'm sure you're promising that.
And advocacy too. Yeah. We are part of advocacy. For instance, we work a lot on advocacy.
All right. Yeah. I didn't want to talk about the limitations of the Ministry of Women Empowerment and the Family, since they are not yet to defend themselves. Yeah. It's good I leave that out. And I just hope we promise that we're going to have you're going to work together for better results, because we have 2026 that is coming. We don't want to start hearing from January that a woman has been killed here.
Anyway, the ministry should be aware that we are always here to work with them to deliver on their international engagements and national engagement. That is why the society is not there to do the competition, as you said. The society is always there to accompany the government in their actions, to deliver and not like compete with them.
Completes the act. Completing each other in the game. But now I want us to look at our camera. We are rounding up. Quine, this is your camera right in front of you. So I don't know what you'll be telling women out there, but you have 30 minutes to go. You're saying something to the woman, to a girl child. I don't know who you're talking to, but you're passing out the message. Over to you.
I think to the women out there, especially to those who have been victims and to those who are still being victims and yet do not know how to go out of those situations, they should know that there are people out there that care about what they might be going through, and there are people out there who are working day and night to see that they could bring these holistic solutions. And there are people out there that are fighting every day to make sure that the resources are available to take care of them in case they're having serious emergency issues. There are direct assistance to support them on maybe their small petty projects, because we know that when survivors finally face maybe economic violence, they need something to support them to start up something to keep moving up. We are having this expertise in like supervising small projects that are now of big scale that could get the woman moving or the young girl moving. We are having the support system to make sure that they are not traumatized, they get back self-confidence. They should know that there are people out there always ready to furnish all these things to them. So that's why we continue to champion this fight, and we're not asking, we want survivors not to only survive, but we want them to survive and become the next champion to end violence. Because them who are survivors, when they are championing the fight, it makes more sense.
All right, thank you so much. And I know you have a lot of activities in 2026. You're starting, it's not that we're looking for just 16 days of activism to start talking about gender-based violence. It's all right. All right, Claudette, you're looking at your own camera right in front of you. I don't know what you'll be seeing. I don't know what you want to tell the women, but you have something to say.
Well, I don't know who's looking at me today, who's watching us, but the first thing that I want to tell these women is that you're not alone. The second thing that I want to tell them is that it's not your fault. A lot of us, when we go through these situations, we ask God, we turn around and we say, why me? What did I do? You didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve it. So what we are doing today is really making sure that you're being heard, making sure that your story is heard, and that we're providing you with the right support to be able to get back on track. So we're here, NPOWA is one of many, many associations. We're out there, look for us, trying to find us, and we will definitely do our best possible to get you out of there and to give you the support that you need. So for myself, I can say NPOWA.org, visit our webpage, and also in the weeks to come, you'll be able to contact us at 8028 so that we can refer you where you need to be referred in order to get the proper help that you need.
All right, thank you. And Elizabeth, over to you. Your camera is right in front of you.
Okay, thank you. As my colleague said, the first thing is that you are not alone. You are not alone in that journey. There is support that you can seek for, and free from any change or any phase. The second thing is that it's not your fault. Never, never, never. The third thing is that you do not have to be ashamed. No, no, no. You have been abused. You are the one who have been abused, and that is wrong. That is wrong. And you have to be supported. You have to be protected. The fourth thing I have to say is that there is never late to speak out. You know, talking about gender-based violence, I've received a lady in Bamenda who have been abused by 10 men, and she did not speak out for 5 years, even to the mother. It was that occurred when she was 16, and she speak out to me 5 years after. She is never late to speak out. When you feel comfortable to speak out, you should do that, because you need, it's your right to have how do you call reparation, how do you say it, restoration is your right to have it. And when you speak out, you also save, protect those who are on risk or exposed to be victim for. So it's very important to know that. And the other thing is that knowing that speaking out is not depending on being educated
66 in 2023, 67 in 2024, and 66 in 2025. What's failing? Is it the law, the police, the courts, or the silence and disconnect between those meant to protect and those are crying?
The special victim unit. That means when you are a woman and you've been a victim of violence, you can go to the police station and have trained individuals in that police department that know and that can apply even compassion.
Each region should have at least a temporary shelter for people, yes. If people, women know that if I speak out, I will be protected, I will be somewhere with all the services.
We make sure that we listen to them because first of all, always prepare ourselves to listening. We don't give you the solution. We ask you, what do you want? Because it's important for the victim to tell you what they want.
In survival center approach, you have to facilitate or to enable the survivor to build the solution.
Vous allez payer tout moitié-moitié et ne même pas rationner à la maison. Il faut commencer à faire attention. Donc c'est là déjà les indices.
Quelqu'un est toujours en train de vous humilier, vous traumatiser. En fait, tout ce que vous faites est mauvais.
If our justice don't change the way he's functioning, just forget about the protection of women in Cameroon.
Ce fléau qui est d'ailleurs très complexe. Il est très complexe, qui nécessite la participation de tous.
It wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve it. Providing you with the right support to be able to get back on track.